Hi, everyone. My name is Justin Kane. I'm a PhD student from Louisiana State University, and thank you for attending my poster, or my 5-minute talk. So what we're going to focus on is the Wilmington anticline, and Wilmington's just south of Long Beach, California. It's bounded by a bunch of large faults, noticeably Palos Verdes Fault, Thumb-Sunningen Beach Fault, Newport-Inglewood Fault, and the figure in the middle of the screen. The purple lines on there are the anticline contours themselves. Orange are the actual normal faults that split up the field's production. And most noticeably is the Wilmington blind thrust that bounds the southern portion of the field. So what we would like to do, more or less, is to look at stress features that we can find in boreholes and try to determine stress heterogeneity. What is stress field? What does it look like? Is there variances in the stress field? And we have 36 wells. So very high number of wells, and it's about 12 kilometers by 3 kilometers total distance. But we'll kind of get into what those look like. So my figure A that I have here, I have the well listed by number, but also by group. So they're just grouped by the platforms themselves. 36 through 30 are onshore wells. 1 and 2 is going to be a group 2. 3 through 8 is going to be a group 3. And group 5 is our 9 through 19, or 20, sorry. Group 4 is going to be our 22 through 29. So most noticeably, ones that we should all kind of take notice of, 34 is our onshore well that we're going to look at. 27 is going to be in group 4, and 10 and 11 are in group 5. And if you take a look at most of these wells, you can tell they're fairly deviated for the most part. I do have some near vertical sections, but this is mainly in caliper data, and what we're going to be doing today is mainly resistivity data. And what exactly is my data coverage? This is my data coverage for what I'm looking at in all of my wells. By well number and true vertical depth, you'll notice pretty obvious pattern that from 500 to 2,000 meters, I have really good data coverage. And I don't have the best data coverage from 2,500 to 3,000, and almost no data coverage at 2,000 to 2,500. So my image logs are in 10 and 11, 27 and 34, which 3 of those are, if you can tell from my graph, they are in the deeper sections, which is really good. I keep talking about these resistivity images. So what do they look like? What can they tell us? And kind of what am I showing on the poster? So I have a couple of sections, but I've only taken 2 of them out. The first one on the left, you're looking at measured depth, and you're looking at azimuth. So if you can imagine in your mind that you've got a borehole, which is kind of like a straw, and you've got a caliper pad that's rotating around as it travels up the bore itself. And it's taking resistivity measurements as it goes up. So it either records a darker image or it records a lighter image based on the conductivity. If you're thinking, as a geologist, it's probably going to be a little bit light, a little bit dark to kind of show like limestone and shales, or sandstones are more conductive, so they'd be lighter. But as it travels up the borehole, it can see a lot of features that things like caliper logs can't necessarily see. So one of the features they share in common is a borehole breakout zone, where it's a compressive shear failure that enlarges the borehole itself. So in caliper logs, it's actually showing a widening of the borehole. In image logs itself, you're seeing essentially spalling off of the well bore, and you're recording the drilling mud itself. So that's highlighted by these red sort of boxes over my borehole breakouts. Drilling-induced tensile fractures is something that you can only observe them in resistivity images. You can't find them in caliper logs because they're such small-scale features. They don't alter the shape of the borehole itself. They're from overpressured mud, and they record SH max orientations, whereas borehole breakouts record SH minimum orientations. And alrighty, so here's kind of some of our results. Well 34, like I said, onshore portion. This is from our transverse drilling-induced tensile fracture result that we've got. It's really interesting. Take a look at it on the poster itself. 11 is showing really consistent orientations pointing towards the center of the plot itself. 10 has more or less some crosses going on, so there might be some unreliability in the stress field itself in that area, some local changes possibly. And 27 has crosses as well, but has a similar consistent orientation. These are plotted by deviation going, every circle is 10 degrees outside of the hole. Has whole azimuth is plotted on the very top of the well, and they're tilted based off the relative bearing. If you have any more significant questions, feel free to contact me in my poster.